a podcast by CIPRA.
Il podcast della CIPRA.
Le podcast de la CIPRA.
Der CIPRA Podcast.
CIPRIM Podcast.
Interviews, background talks, and voices from all Alpine countries. Listen to this and more in the podcast of the International Commission for the Protection of the Alps, www.cipra.org/podcast.
Welcome to an episode of our CIPRA podcast. My name is Caroline Begle. Traveling sustainably through the Alps. That was the motto of 125 young people from all Alpine countries who were part of CIPRA's project Yoalin, short for Youth Alpine Interrail. They explored Alpine regions by train and bus, on foot or by bike. They stormed summits, strolled through cities, camped under the stars. Most importantly, they traveled climate-friendly. One of these Yoalin travelers was Isis from France.
I went in France, the Alpine part, then in Switzerland, then in Italy, and after I ended my trip in Slovenia. And so a long trip of 2 months and a half. Really interesting. I wanted to experiment so many things, and I did. So it's in the same time the thing to go alone and to learn a little bit more about what limit I have still and what I can do to also go further. And when you're alone, you're also very dependent of the people you met. So it was a little bit paradoxical, but yeah, to meet people was really interesting. For me, Yoalin, well, at the beginning it was just an amazing opportunity to travel by train in the Alps. And I understood it first like this, but after the group of Yoalin members who I can talk with them and create new relations, it was for me a way to travel sustainably and also to meet other people that values this way to travel.
Isis also visited the closing event, which took place in Innsbruck in Austria at the end of September. Around 60 other Yoalin travelers were there to share experiences and discuss sustainable mobility with experts. Another traveler is Davide from South Tyrol. He was enthusiastic about meeting the organizers and other Yoalins.
It's really nice. It was wonderful to meet the people that are actually part of this project, that are splendid persons. And I really, really enjoyed it because the people are really nice. Everyone is so open-minded and so talkative and really wonderful persons. And the point is, it was nice to see the people behind the project.
CIPRA launched the Yoalin project in 2018. Together with the CIPRA Youth Council, CYC. It is a project by young people, for young people. The vision is to travel the Alpine regions in a more climate-friendly way and with a clear conscience.
I really believe that there is a lot to do and that our generation has to take action if we want a sustainable future.
Says Louise Dron from Switzerland. She's also a member of the CIPRA Youth Council and a so-called Yoalin ambassador.
I think the Alps are the perfect size for action because it involves a lot of countries, a lot of regions, but there's also a common culture and there's a common understanding of what the main issues are. And I think there is a lot also of cooperation already happening in the Alps. And we really have to use that network for our initiatives. To see that other young people are involved with me, it gives me a lot of motivation. And those initiatives such as Yoalin and Alptic and the CIPRA Youth Council in general are very motivating.
The commitment and passion of the young people was clearly noticeable at the final event, and a strong confirmation for the project team, the supporters and the organizers that they are on the right track.
It's such a great community of young people. Everybody is so committed, so motivated, so full of energy. I think this is really something that shows what is behind this project, also all the passion that is behind this project. It's always a lot of interaction. People really want to be here. You can also see that they had made a lot of great experiences during their travels.
Says Melanie Planker from the Austrian province of Tyrol. She works for the Alps, the Association of Alpine States, which has been focusing on sustainable tourism for many years. Alps is one of the supporters of the Yoalin project and organized the event in Innsbruck. Melanie Planker.
With regard to sustainable mobility, we think that it's very important to take up the concerns, ideas, interests of young people, because they are the ones who will travel to these Alpine regions in the future. They are also often very sensitive towards sustainable mobility, and we think it's very important to make concrete projects for them, to promote sustainability together with them, and to offer them something to travel sustainably. So we thought this project is really great, and we are very happy now to support it.
Yoalin is not only supported by Alps, but also by the signatory states of the Alpine Convention, and financially by the German Federal Office for the Environment, Nature, Conservation and Nuclear Safety, the Austrian Ministry of Climate Protection, the Liechtenstein Office for the Environment, the Slovenian Ministry of Environment, and the Swiss Federal Office for Spatial Development, ARE.
Well, the ARE, the Swiss Federal Office for Spatial Development, we deal with sustainable spatial development in Switzerland, but also in the Alps, and mobility is a very big issue in this.
Says Karin Augsburger from the ARE in Switzerland.
And with Youth Alpine Interrail or Yoalin, we really want to show and encourage young people to discover this very beautiful region in a sustainable and climate-friendlier way, and encourage them to do so, and also providing them the means to do so. And I think it's a beautiful project, and we're happy to support this.
Sustainable mobility is a fundamental key to climate protection. Yoalin shows how climate-friendly travel works and how much fun it is to travel by public transport. In addition, the project offers a lively and active community that is constantly growing and spreading the topic of sustainability. For the travelers themselves, Yoalin means
green community. Dogodivština. Gemeinschaft.
Ver.
Vrijheid.
Solution.
Svoboda.
Libertà.
Geweldig. Als Nederlandisch means awesome.
Pictures and stories from the trips are available on the Yoalin website www.yoalin.org. There, one can also find maps with special destinations and helpful travel tips that inspire climate-friendly travel in the Alpine region at any time of the year and for all age groups alike. By traveling by train instead of by car or plane, everyone can set an example and make a contribution for a better future. My name is Caroline Begle. Thank you for listening to this episode of our CIPRA podcast. Feel free to share it with others, and we're also happy about your feedback. So stay on track, keep traveling sustainably and safe through the Alps.
A podcast by CIPRA.
Il podcast della CIPRA.
Le podcast de la CIPRA.
Der CIPRA Podcast.
CIPRIM Podcast.
Interviews, background talks, and voices from all Alpine countries. Listen to this and more in the podcast of the International Commission for the Protection of the Alps, www.cipra.org/podcast.